I think that's a libertarian view I have, is that I should be able to do what I want with my body as long as I'm not impinging on your rights while I do it. If I want to do drugs and I'm not hurting anybody in the process, I'm not robbing people or doing anything that people do to get those drugs, then what business is it yours if I'm a consenting adult in my own home that I pay for? Why can't I do whatever drug I want? And I understand the implications of drug use. I'm just saying, like, from the legal standpoint, there shouldn't be laws about it that tell me what I can and can't put into my own body.
Yeah, we definitely need to.
As an adult.
Yeah, we definitely need at the federal level, I think, to make some changes in that area. And obviously Trump did a minor little tweak as far as marijuana and stuff like that, which Kansas is pushing back on. My understanding, Kansas is down to, we're one of the last 2 states in the entire country that's not decriminalized.
The other one's Nebraska,
marijuana.
I'm sure.
Actually, Nebraska's decriminalized. I think they still have fines. I can't remember who the other one is.
This is the point I'm
yeah,
trying to make, is that we are lagging behind Nebraska and Oklahoma, Kansas.
Yeah.
Are we really going to let them be cooler than us? Are we really? No. But seriously, though, like, they are more evolved than we are. Like, how do we let Oklahoma, at least on this one particular issue, or Nebraska? I thought for sure Nebraska would be the last one because they sued Colorado and it was this whole thing. But yeah, we are surrounded on 3 sides by people that are selling it.
Yeah.
And so we are dealing, if there are negative repercussions from it, which I don't really think there are, I've seen the positives. There's a lot of positives when they legalize it, like teens not using it as much because it's not cool anymore, and all this other stuff. And so if there are bad things, we're getting it without any of the revenue.
Yeah.
Because they just go over there and get it and come back over here.
Yeah, and my big thing, of course, is if you're getting it on the streets, you know, what's being blended in. Whereas if you're going to a place that legitimately sells it and stuff, then you're getting clean stuff. And I get there's different THC levels and stuff like that. But my example that I roll back to, and being a veteran, is we've got veterans coming back with PTSD and physical ailments, and the VA will hand out hardcore painkillers for all that stuff that people get addicted to and end up committing suicide at atrocious levels, and yet you're telling that same person that they can't smoke marijuana, which has a much lower chance of addiction and those negative things.
Yeah.
My dad, he's 86 years old, has cancer, but you're going to tell him that he can't smoke a little marijuana if he needs
Can
to.
we at least get medical?
Come on, yeah. So I think we can.
Medical.
I think
So,
we
and then it's interesting to watch the different ways they do it. I think Oklahoma is missing out on a lot of money because all they do is charge sales tax. I guess because it's all medical. But yeah, by not going, you get most of the money when you go rec. Because like in Colorado, the medical stuff just gets charged sales tax, but the rec stuff's 25%. And it goes to, it's broken out. This much goes to schools, this much goes to this, and it's a lot more money because it's nothing that if you allow the medical people to get it without that added, nobody else needs marijuana. You know what I mean? We were talking to somebody the other day, one of the candidates, they were talking about raising the taxes on cigarettes and this and legalizing marijuana and taxing the recreational hell out of it. Because none of those things are anything that we require to live. And so that makes sense.
Yeah, it was a little frustrating. I went to the Republican state convention just a couple of weeks ago that they had down in Wichita, and all of the candidates that were up on stage just lambasted marijuana as the worst thing in the entire world.
Yeah, it's like the 90s game with those commercials.
Exactly, just say no. But then as soon as the debates were over, they all invited people back to their little reception rooms where alcohol flowed freely and people got drunk, and they were bragging about how drunk they'd gotten at those parties and stuff like that, and yet marijuana's the devil's lettuce. So
I went to a lot of business things like NEBA and stuff in Wichita, the small business people, they have alcohol in every single, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm like, I would. Or I went to this charity thing with somebody I worked with, the company I worked with in Denver, that was a bunch of rich people, and they had Pat Benatar, and they had an extra ticket, so I was like, sure, I'll go. And it was really cool, but by the end of it, they were not the people I was with, but like a lot of the people there that were obviously had a lot of money were so sloshed, and their mascara was running, and they had their shoes off, and they were just a sloppy mess. And I was just like,
yep. But they'll tell you that if you're smoking a little marijuana, relax, that you're a terrible person. Though.
Silly. And I just think it's one more way that they're wasting time on things that they shouldn't. They aren't one of those 5 things that should matter. And it's so much money we can make. And everybody else is doing it.
It's definitely something we could make a change on. Yeah, and most cancers want it too.
Maybe
If
great
you look
for
at the
farmers.
polls and stuff, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
It's just silly for us to not do it. If there are negative things, the benefits far outweigh the negatives.
We can work on that.
So,
Let me try to pull this shade a little bit.
yeah,
see if
that
works.
might be better. It's a cool effect and everything. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
So let me get these questions here. I think we've covered some of them.